Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Breaking News. I'm your host, and we have an alarming story that has been making headlines. Prominent political figure Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is facing intense criticism from political leaders and civil rights organizations after a video surfaced where he made false claims about. Let's dive into the details. Kennedy speaking at a dinner. Kennedy, video, there is an argument that is ethnically targeted. It attacks certain races disproportionately. Is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese individuals appear to have higher immunity. We cannot definitively determine if it was deliberately targeted, but there are papers available that demonstrate racial and ethnic disparities in its impact. Kennedy's assertions have ignited a firestorm of accusations, with many condemning his claims of being intentionally designed to target specific ethnic groups while sparing others. This conspiracy theory has drawn allegations of anti-Semitism and racism. The video capturing his remarks was first published by the New York Post, which triggered widespread criticism. Leading Democrats have been quick to denounce Kennedy's statements. Democratic Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz from Florida strongly condemned his claims, describing them as vile anti-Semitic tropes and xenophobia. Representative Ted Lieu from California emphasized the global impact of, pointing out that millions of people, including Americans of Jewish or Chinese descent, have tragically lost their lives to the virus. Representative Wasserman Schultz, video, Kennedy's false claims insult countless families who lost loved ones to the virus. They are reprehensible and have no place in our society. Representative Lieu, video, if you still support the wacky, narcissistic, racist Robert F. Kennedy Jr., then that says more about you than it does about him. Representative Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey also expressed his strong disapproval, branding Kennedy as a disgrace to the Kennedy name and the Democratic Party. Gottheimer called on Speaker McCarthy and Jim Jordan to disinvite Kennedy from testifying before Congress, citing his dissemination of misinformation and hate. In addition to political leaders, civil rights organizations have joined in the chorus of criticism. The Anti-Defamation League, an organization dedicated to combating anti-Semitism and extremism, swiftly denounced Kennedy's remarks, stating that his claim of being a bioweapon targeting specific ethnicities perpetuates offensive and conspiratorial ideas. Jane Shim, director of the Stop Asian Hate Project. Jane Shim, director of the Stop Asian Hate Project, criticized Kennedy's dangerous rhetoric in an interview with The Washington Post. She labeled his comments as irresponsible and hateful, emphasizing the potential harm they can cause. Despite the backlash, Kennedy attempted to address the criticism through a tweet, denying the New York Post story. However, his message restated the same false theories he had previously shared, including one associated with debunked Russian propaganda. He suggested the development of ethnically targeted bioweapons by the US and cited a scientific study to support his claims. However, scientists discredited his statements regarding the study, calling them baseless and rooted in racism and anti-Semitism. Dr. Angela Rasmussen's tweet. Dr. Angela Rasmussen, a respected virologist at the University of Saskatchewan, responded to Kennedy's claims on Twitter, refuting them and highlighting the absence of any biochemical basis for ethnic differences in susceptibility to the virus. Unfortunately, this is not the first time Kennedy has stirred controversy with his comments on Jewish people. In a 2022 speech, he made inappropriate comparisons to Anne Frank's hiding in an attic during the Holocaust, drawing strong condemnation from Aryeh Tuchman of the ADL's Center on Extremism. Tuchman criticized Kennedy's analogies as historically inaccurate and hurtful to Jews and anyone familiar with the horrors of the Nazi regime. As the backlash continues, it's important to note that Kennedy's remarks do not align with the views of the Democratic Party, as affirmed by Jamie Harrison, chair of the Democratic National Committee. Closing shot, newsroom backdrop. That wraps up our coverage on this disturbing story. stay informed, and remember to rely on credible sources for accurate information. Thank you for joining us. Good night.